Hello everyone and welcome to another session. I am just gonna wait a few moments so that people can arrive. You can take a moment to just gather what it is that you need for today's session. You might want to grab some water or have a notepad or anything you need to feel comfy. I'm going to be hosting this session for about 20-25 minutes today. So gather what you need. Good morning, everyone. And so today I'm going to be talking about how to actually listen to your body, how to actually listen to your womb. So let's start with a self-regulating practice. So with this practice, I'm going to invite you to take one hand and place it under the opposite armpit. So for me, my right hand is going under my left armpit. And then the left hand is just gonna hold the opposite arm. And you can settle into your seat. Settling in, relax your shoulders, relax your belly, relax the muscles of your face. And if it feels good for you, I invite you to close your eyes. So as you sit here, just take a moment to notice where your hands are, feeling this little self-hug. And I invite you to slowly notice your breath. Start to notice how you are breathing. You don't need to change anything at this moment. Just have to breathe and notice. Notice your in-breath and your out-breath. And then I invite you to start to elongate the exhales. So let your exhale be maybe 1 or 2 seconds longer. Beautiful. And now I'm going to invite you to inhale through the nose and then exhale out through the mouth, making a little circle with your lips. So that exhale is really long and intentional, and you take your time to empty the lungs. And I'm going to invite you to do that for maybe 3 to 4 rounds, your own rhythm. Notice if there's a tendency to rush, you can slow things down. One more time. And then allow your breath to come back to, or come to a new rhythm. Let it just start flowing as it needs to. Making any sounds that arise, or allowing any sounds that arise. And then giving yourself a squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Just getting that contact with your body. Saying hello to your body. And if your eyes are closed, you could gently open them. Let your eyes land back on the screen. Welcome everyone. It's good to see you all here. So today's session is about how to actually listen to your body, how to actually listen to your womb. And it's very possible you've heard this saying going around, like, just listen to your body, tune into your body. What does your body want? And the thing is that the majority of us actually don't know how to listen to our body. And it's not because we don't have the capacity to do that. It is a very natural, a very human thing to listen to our body's cues. The thing is that this ability has been severed from us. Our conditioning, our culture, this we prioritize or overvalue the thinking mind. And then we disregard the wisdom of our heart, of our gut, of our womb, of our yoni. Think about those gut intuition, those gut feelings that you've had. Think about how, like, what's happened when you've listened to your gut feeling and what's happened when you've ignored your gut feeling. So really, this invitation to listen to our body is to put value towards our body's intelligence and trusting our body is intelligent and wise enough that we actually respond to, honor, and support those messages, those requests. So that it's not just all about the thinking, rational mind, but we trust the intuition, we trust the messages. And this takes time. It's a practice. It's something that we cultivate and relearn, or actually I like to say something we remember, because it is natural to us. It is natural to us to listen to our body, to have a communication or a relationship with our body. So in order to do this, there are three main things that I like to set out or to lay out as a foundation. The first thing is that we have to feel safe in our body. We have to be able to have a calm and centered space. Our nervous system is regulated. The second thing is that we begin to track what is going on for us in the present moment. Not how we want to feel or how we felt this morning or yesterday or last week. Tracking what is going on in the present moment. What is your real life felt experience? And then the third thing is how to slowly start to respond to those our body's messages, our body's requests. And so you might know someone, or you might actually be that person who is constantly on the go, constantly busy, always has things to do, schedules filled up, and really cannot settle. So this is a person whose energetic qualities might be like this, overriding lots of adrenaline, chronic, tons of cortisol in the system, a lot of stress, overwhelm, anxiety. It's really hard to tune into what's happening with your body if there's all that going on. Or it might be the flip side. Somebody who checks out, who disassociates, who is unmotivated. It's really hard to get momentum going and is withdrawn and kind of shut down. Again, here it's really hard to be aware of and notice what our body's telling us if we've kind of checked out. So a lot of the work around listening to our body is about nervous system regulation. It's about creating a window of tolerance within our nervous system that is wider, which is larger, so that we can handle stressors as they come to us without going into a hypervigilant state or a completely disassociated state. So when we want to track the cues and the messages of our body, when we want to track and notice what our body is telling us, we want to come from a space where we feel calm, where we feel safe, where we feel regulated. And so that's a lot of the work that I do with the women that I work with, is that we start to build resilience. We start to understand our body's messages and know how to come back into a calm and centered space. And so that practice that we did earlier as we started, that practice that we did as I opened today's session, the self-hug, the long extended exhale, That's a self-regulating practice. This is a beautiful practice that you could come to time and time again whenever you're feeling agitated, whenever you're feeling overwhelmed. It brings you back into your window of tolerance. So know that this video is going to live on my IG feed, so you could come back to it and you could do that practice over and over again. So we've done the practice that helps you calm and regulate. And right now I want to invite you to drop into a practice where you can start to track what is going on in the present moment. What is your lived, felt experience? So for those of you who are here live, I invite you to get comfy. Again, just notice what you need around you. And we're going to be tracking our body through 4 different levels. Okay? And you could do this with your eyes closed, or you can have a soft gaze somewhere. Just make sure you're able to hear my prompts. And you can also bring your hands somewhere on your body. I'm going to place both my hands on my womb. All right. So with your eyes closed or with a soft gaze, you can take a few inhales and exhales just to allow yourself to settle. And now I invite you to bring your awareness to your mind. Bring your awareness to your thoughts. And you don't need to change anything. I'd like for you to notice what your thoughts are like right now. Do your thoughts feel scattered, agitated? Do your thoughts feel a little bit spacey? Is your mind a little bit foggy today? Is your mind focused, clear? And just take a moment to take that little inventory of what your mind is like right now. And spend a few more breaths here. Not changing anything. We're just noticing, we're tracking. Beautiful. And now I want you to bring your awareness to your breath. Notice how you are breathing. And there's a tendency when we start to track our breath, we change our rhythm of breathing. As much as possible, see if you can keep the breath as it is. Are you breathing in a really slow and intentional way? Is your breath perhaps a little bit rushed, a little bit rapid and shallow? Maybe there's a little irregularity in your breathing. Again, we're not changing anything. We're just noticing. We're just tracking what's alive. Notice your breath. Spend a few more moments here noticing. And for those who are just joining, we're tracking different levels, different parts of our being. We're just tracking our breath right now, noticing how we are breathing. And now I invite you to bring your awareness to your physical body. Perhaps you do a little scan and notice the sensations of your body. Does your body feel warm or perhaps a little cool to the touch? Is there any achiness or tension? Maybe there's numbness. Maybe you feel numb right now. And that's okay. We're noticing. We're taking an inventory. What is going on in my physical body right now, this present moment? Few more moments here. Staying curious, staying open with what is alive. And I invite you now to get curious and notice what emotion or emotions are present for you right now. Do you feel joyful and alive? Do you feel a little bit sleepy? Maybe you're feeling fragile or irritated. Good. We're not changing any of that. We're noticing what is alive. So take a few moments here to sit with, notice what emotions are present for you. And so we've taken the time to check in to our mind, to our breath, to our sensations, and to our emotions. Just checking in. And if your eyes are closed, you can slowly open them, coming back to the screen. Perhaps giving yourself another little squeeze, another little hug. We can never hug ourselves enough, can we? And so now the third part of this, of listening to our body, is to start to respond to the messages of our body. And so as an example, as when I was guiding you to track the sensations of your physical body, if you notice that perhaps, I noticed that my fingertips were a little bit cool. So like I always have a blanket here. So I've got a blanket, I could tuck my hands under that blanket. If you noticed you were thirsty, maybe you take a sip of water. As you were tracking your breath, if you noticed that your breath was a little shallow or irregular, or there may be an indicator of feeling overwhelmed or anxious, maybe you place a hand on your heart and you take a few deep breaths. So our body is constantly communicating with us, and how we begin to build a stronger relationship, a more intimate relationship to our body, is that we take the time to slow down. Okay? We regulate our nervous system, we slow down, we start to track what is going on, and then we start to respond. We start to honor and listen to its needs. And part of that is that we need to begin to trust our body's cues. We need to begin to trust what our body is telling us. So if your breath is shallow and irregular, that means there's something that needs tending to. Take a few deep breaths. Extend that exhale. Come back to our practice. Self-hug. Extended exhales out through the mouth. So my invitation to you today is to do these practices multiple times. As I said earlier, this video is going to be living on my IG feed, so you could come back to them. It is a practice. You start to cultivate, you start to remember the messages and how to listen to even those subtle messages of your body. And this is a big part of what I share when I work with women one-on-one. Could work in my containers of one-on-one, my group coaching containers. We start to cultivate the somatic connection to the self, to the womb, to our cycle, because we are remembering how to listen and honor our body's needs. We are learning how to listen and honor and support our cyclical needs specifically. I want to celebrate you for tuning in. I want to celebrate you for responding to your desire to reconnect to your own body's wisdom. And once I put this video up, if there are other people in your life that you know would benefit from these kind of practices, please share them. This is the whole intent, is to get that ripple effect. Getting that ripple effect so that more people can learn ways to regulate, to track, and to honor their body's needs. Thank you so much.